Hi everyone. Needless to say, our innovation agenda is anchored in our ability to help our customers realize even greater value in their investments from the data in their organizations. I will spend some time talking about some areas where we see the data opportunity for all of you joining us today. But first, let's level set so we all start on the same page. I'm going to reiterate what my boss just said on this one. Data conversations are shaping the strategies and indeed the future of every organization. From the sheer amount of accessible data to orchestrating the data through complex pipelines and applying it to action, both automated and manual, data collection, analytics, and applications are creating massive opportunities for everyone. To reinforce, nearly every interaction by nearly every person on the planet leaves a data trail, and it's easier and cheaper than ever before to collect and store it. Last year, every person generated 1.7 megabytes of data in just 1 second. There were 70.3 billion real-time payment transactions in 2020, up 41% from the year before. It's estimated that we'll generate 79 zettabytes of data this year alone, and as Ayman noted earlier, more than double that in 2025, when we'll hit 181 zettabytes. These numbers are absolutely staggering, and with 14 billion mobile devices and 46 billion connected devices expected online this year, they're only going to continue to grow. Let's face it, data is the new sunshine. Per the survey we did with 451 Research late last year, a massively important tech priority for customers, both now and 2 years from now, is to become data-driven businesses in their quest to become autonomous digital enterprises. Companies of all sizes across all industries now have access to immense amounts of data. This has the ability to level the playing field between upstarts and incumbents. We all know that valuable data is data that leads to meaningful business outcomes. But how do you know what outcomes are even possible? We all have the means to make data a competitive advantage, and the path ahead is laden with opportunity. So let's spend time on 3 areas where we see the evolution of a data strategy playing a critical role. First, let me talk about DevOps and its next evolution, DevSecOps. The emergence of DevOps has transformed how organizations develop and deliver applications and services. As you well know, DevOps is the practice of bringing development and IT operations together to shorten the software development lifecycle and provide continuous delivery of high-quality software. I have no doubt that many of you here have experienced the outcomes of a DevOps approach and have noticed the glaring gap in service management to support fast, high-quality software. And this gap is one that we are tackling with the evolution of site reliability engineering to support IT ops. To date, reliability analytics have focused on infrastructure and operations to support scalable and highly reliable software systems. But to support a true DevOps environment, the implementation and practice of service and site reliability engineering, or SSRE, should be top of mind. The SSRE persona balances agility and quality in releasing new features with the reliance on both service and operations management. And that balance of agility and quality is contingent upon the orchestration of multiple data sets across IT service and operations management with the requisite analytics. We are bringing together DevOps toolchain and IT operations data with service management data and applying machine learning algorithms to these data sets to provide truly differentiated reliability analytics. These insights will help the SSRE persona to release new features with a high degree of confidence while balancing agility and quality. We also believe that everyone in an IT organization is accountable for security regardless of their role. And this philosophy has found its calling in the natural evolution from DevOps to DevSecOps. One of our recent product innovations, Helix Log Analytics, offers observable insights in support of the DevSecOps paradigm. It's a new capability that allows log data to be enriched with contextual data to provide insights that drive actions to optimize IT operations for the most complex enterprises. Enriching log data to apply the right user context is part of our observability strategy. Building on this, consider applying AI to this enriched log data to detect anomalies as part of user and entity behavior analytics. These would be killer insights for sure. This is our aspiration for BMC Helix Log Analytics and a whole host of other BMC innovations to help organizations make the successful transition to DevSecOps. The exciting evolution of DevOps with the ability to deploy service and site reliability engineering is making DevSecOps a real opportunity and a competitive differentiator. Let's keep that thought in mind and next turn our attention to harnessing data and analytics at the edge. That's right, folks. Edge computing is the second area where we see the data evolution opening immense opportunity. We have all been living the infrastructure journey from central compute to hybrid IT to all cloud, all the time, and now extending to the edge. And for the foreseeable future, we will be living in a hybrid IT approach across the IT landscape, an approach that includes centralized computing as well as the edge as an integral part of an even more complex hybrid IT landscape. Consider the following. 1. Compute resources are readily available and bandwidth can be procured. 2. IT infrastructure has evolved and progressed enough such that we can now scale compute with resilience, storing and analyzing zettabytes of data with ease like never before. The next step is about using edge computing to collect, apply analytics, and act. Gone are the days of the central compute engines and lagging insights. Today, we are living in a world where we can collect, analyze, and act on data where it's generated in an instant. The problems we need to solve for at the edge are latency and security, and in a subset of the use cases, potential integration with data residing in a centralized computing environment. This is absolutely needed to deliver higher order insights for the data-driven business. And this is where we can apply intelligent automation to find ways to orchestrate important edge data with central data pipelines for the required insights for automated action instantaneously. This data can take many forms. Imagine a high-security facility that stores highly sensitive biomaterials and uses a really sophisticated security and surveillance protocol. From high-def cameras capturing facial and body recognition to temperature monitoring, movement tracking, and good old biometrics, the facility operations can manage and maintain proper security for the biomaterials. It's like an action movie. A couple approaches, but even at the outside of the perimeter of the facility, the surveillance system detects and analyzes movement, identifies individuals, determines their status and permissions, and acts accordingly. A threat is sensed, and the facility's operations immediately locks down the facility to protect the assets. And if you prefer something less exciting, we can talk about the wind farms in California connected to our power grids that have sensor data, operational data, and environmental data, all being generated and collected in remote fields and on mountains. Transmission of energy created is dependent on multiple systems engaging harmoniously. And if there is even one snag at one intersection or at a cross-section, it could result in a massive loss or even damage of the windmills. But what if the same monitoring system that keeps all of your enterprise applications operating smoothly could be applied to the systems managing the windmills remotely? Sounds cool, doesn't it? It's just another use case where the ability to act at the edge has an incredible impact. BMC Helix Edge, an innovation first introduced last year, is ready to extend monitoring and management of edge infrastructure, devices, and software to keep data and actions where they are needed. I am super pumped about this solution and excited to share that we are working with innovative global brands to show the power of BMC Helix Edge for a multitude of industries and use cases. Maybe you'd like to co-innovate with us on this. That would be pretty exciting too. And if you want to get on that train, I'd recommend stopping by the Innovation Lab Salon in the Expo area. But back to the business at hand. We've talked about the power and value of data in the evolution of DevOps to DevSecOps and BMC Helix Log Analytics that can potentially evolve to be a tool in your arsenal to secure the edge. What sounds like science fiction or an action movie is actually real life when we can be practical about edge computing. And BMC Helix Edge is a must to get there faster. The last area that I want to cover off today is DataOps. DataOps is the new frontier. I define DataOps as the application of agile engineering and DevOps best practices to the field of data management to rapidly turn new insights into fully operationalized production deliverables that unlock business value from data. It's a revolutionary way to approach data analytics for every organization and applies to every industry. It has become a way to manage and integrate data so that your organization can adjust, respond, and even predict and act autonomously to what is happening in the business, the industry, the market, or across the whole world. For those not overly familiar with DataOps, it brings together DevOps teams with data engineers, data scientists, and analytics teams to accelerate how data is collected, how it is used, how it is analyzed, and where it gets applied. There are a few principles that I use from the DataOps manifesto. Number one, orchestration is key. Data, tools, code, environments, all of it. The ability to orchestrate across functions and teams only enhances the insights derived and supports true DataOps. Number two, make it reproducible. Insights are only valuable if they are valid. And the practice of DataOps ensures that analytics results can be reproduced. Number three, disposable environments are an absolute must-have. DataOps teams need to be able to experiment quickly and freely without having to wait for their infrastructure provisioning or access permissions. Number four, quality is paramount. Performance, security, and quality need to be constantly monitored and measured to weed out anomaly and inconsistency. Number five, and lastly, value working analytics. DataOps is all about insightful analytics that are fresh and relevant and derived from actual accurate data. There are more principles for sure, but these are the ones that stand out for me. The implementation of DataOps forces collaboration across the organization as well as best-in-class automation and orchestration of data pipelines. And it generates continuous insights to support an agile, customer-centric, and action-oriented autonomous digital enterprise. Sounds ideal, right? But how do I get started, you may ask? Well, I've got wonderful news for you. You're already on your way. The ADA framework that Ayman shared is a way to enable DataOps as an evolutionary step in your journey. Collaboration is critical to success, particularly when you consider all of the stakeholders involved. A data management ecosystem of data producers and data consumers. The second critical success factor is automation, which can break down data silos, facilitate the orchestration of discrete data management tools, as well as functions, and automate everything from data sourcing to fully operationalized insights. The foundational requirements of the data pipeline, the ingestion, integration, quality, testing, deployment, and monitoring of data are all puzzle pieces that are intricately connected by orchestration. Supporting these, you have metadata management, data governance, and security. Perhaps you're wondering, what does BMC have in support of DataOps? For all of you ControlM customers out there, we are bringing ControlM Python client to you. It's a way to enable data scientists, data engineers, and other data personas in your organizations to use Python to create workflows for orchestrating data pipelines. And guess what? ControlM Python client automatically translates the Python code into ControlM workflows. So, with this solution, enterprises really have the best of both worlds. Your data personas can continue to use Python, their preferred language, so that there is absolutely no disruption to their creativity. The organization, in turn, benefits from the resulting data pipeline orchestration being the best in class with ControlM's legendary scale and resilience, among others. And that's just for starters. We are working on a number of DataOps innovations that will fulfill your aspirations to become data-driven businesses. As you can tell, I am super stoked about how we can help shape your future. We are committed to being your innovation partner throughout this journey. And while we all need to be realistic and take a phased approach, I wanted to share a glimpse of what it looks like when all of this comes together. Fully autonomous vehicles and flying cars may still be a thing of fiction, more at home in the movies than in the driveway down the block. But when we think about how technology has advanced the way transportation and logistics work together, more intelligently and better connected than ever before, the outcomes are amazing. These technology advancements have already created a single tiny sensor that can monitor all the electronic systems in a moving vehicle, from how the engine is working, to climate control, to the GPS. That's a lot of information. And right now, the world is running on all that data. As I mentioned earlier, global volume of data is expected to grow from 79 zettabytes today to 181 zettabytes by 2025, as more than 75 billion IoT devices come online. That's a four-fold increase in data. When you think about it, pretty much everything we touch and use generates some kind of usable data, but how do you measure it for the right outcome? While we can already bring together all kinds of data sources, from operational to electrical and mechanical systems to environmental and weather inputs to remediation and repair, and so on, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the data overload. Knowing what data to use, when, and how has become the frontier to conquer. Now, let's go to our car example. We've all had car trouble where we can't figure out what's wrong and we just need to get on the road. What if your car could look after itself, self-diagnose a problem, tell you about it, and initiate a fix? Now imagine that you're about to start your day and your car, knowing your schedule, has already run the diagnostics for your 40-mile commute and recognized and alerted you that a reset is needed. The nearest service center only has a mechanical repair team on staff today, but connects you with a mechanic equipped with a VR headset and 5G wireless connection. They quickly diagnose the issue as a camera software error, which prevents the vehicle's autonomous systems from allowing it to safely operate. The tech connects to the guide and makes the update in short order. While the tech is an expert in fuselage and hydraulics, their knowledge of the car's operations is all that's needed when supplemented by the VR technology and connection to the manufacturer's troubleshooting manual. Then you're ready to roll with minimal impact to your day. Whoa! That was really scary. But let's look at the bright side. What if we could generate that same kind of value across an entire fleet with sensor technology, edge data collection, automated workflows, AI, analytics, and applied insights? We can. By combining sensor technology with telematics, planning software, and real-time data correlation using edge computing and AI, we can make transportation not just more efficient, but also more environmentally responsible. A logistics company can do predictive maintenance on its fleet, identify issues beforehand and schedule service, and go one better and assign the most efficient vehicle on a job-by-job basis for minimal impact on the environment. And all of this with very little human intervention. We're already doing this with technology that collects all of the rich data and brings it together for analysis and applies the same complex pipeline orchestration to your data plane as it does to your infrastructure. This is the future we envision at BMC, the future that's fueling our BMC Innovation Labs program. We want to help you yield value from your data-heavy, technologically complex situations and make the most of your existing investments. Would love to have you co-innovate with us. Will you join us? As you can see, the possibilities of an autonomous digital vehicle are inspiring to say the least. This concept embodies the data and analytics innovations that we are pursuing here at BMC as we help you evolve to autonomous digital enterprises. We're also ruthlessly pursuing organic product innovations to manage cloud-native and new architectures, edge computing, areas of DevOps that I spoke about, automation, AIOps, and observability, among a whole host of others. And who better than BMC's Chief Product Officer, my esteemed colleague, Ali Siddiqui, to share an exciting overview of our portfolio and show how we are bringing these innovations to life. Thank you.